I thought I'd take you to Wales with me today. We went back to Strata, Florida the other day because I commissioned my husband to create me a piece of art based on the place. And so he needed to take some more photos and stuff like that. But it was glorious, and as you can see, it is just absolutely peaceful there. This is a dedication to a Welsh poet who is presumably laid to rest at Strata, Florida, like many Welsh princes. And and that is one of the poems translated. We had a really good time. It's so peaceful there. The images absolutely do it no justice. It's quiet, calm, lots of birds singing, and it feels like one of those places that you go to and you have a spiritual connection to it, like a soul place, like I call them. It's definitely a soul place. This is the graveyard adjoining the ruined abbey. The church is obviously not from the Middle Ages, but it is fairly old. I believe it is from the 1700s. These are some of the abbey walls. This would have been part of the side chapels. So the wing, here's my husband scanning a rock, or rather a wall, a piece of wall. It wasn't busy at all when we went. In fact, when we first arrived, there was nobody there. Here in the background, you can see the farmhouse that I've taken a picture of before. Now it's also a little bit more. This is my dream house. It's not for sale, and it won't be for sale because the local community of Istrat Meirik wants to create it as a museum of Welsh farm life. And so this is the house. Isn't it gorgeous? It's quite funny because in many ways this is not my dream house. And my husband really it's funny that you're so in love with it, but I'm in love with it, absolutely in love. And here you can see how you can get into the back garden, and it must be absolutely glorious there. There's a ginormous beach in that garden, and can you just imagine what that front garden could be like? Oh God, it would be glorious, but not for sale. Yeah. And in here, I would create a viewing workshop. So just say. So and these are the old farm outbuildings. So the local community has already opened in one of the outbuildings a little bit about and information about the farm and who the people were, and a little bit about the place. And they are currently trying to raise funds to renovate the farmhouse to have a Welsh farm museum, I suppose. Currently, it is not safe to go in, which is sad. Also, some of the barns, looked like they could potentially fall apart. And we just took a little bit of a wander around, and I got distracted here at some point because there was a bird of prey over me. It looked like a red kite, although I couldn't properly see because, it's just like the eyesight is no longer what it was, But I think it was a red kite. I didn't think of pointing the camera up to see it. Here we're walking up a little bit of a lane, which was just utterly peaceful. I can't begin to tell you how calm that place is and how absolutely quiet. It's ridiculous. There's a couple more cars parked in the car park. But I think at most there were like 6 people there. It was the same the other time we went, and it's currently the summer holidays. So here's my husband walking up that lane, and to the side on the right you just have meadow, which like grazing fields, and on the left it goes up a hill, and here's my family being silly. Watch them. So that's the energy they bring to outings. But I absolutely love this place, and I feel a pull to it that I can't quite explain. I sometimes get that with places, with very specific places. And I mean, I obviously always loved Wales, and, you know, that's not the thing, but it's this particular place, you know, that has this kind of impact, that valley, that particular place. And then we drove into Aberystwyth, back through the valley, to the coast. And it was a very sort of mixed weather day. It wasn't cold, and it splattered with rain occasionally, but it never rained properly, thankfully. But yeah, it was just a little bit of a misty day, especially on some of the hills in the valley. The clouds were basically kissing the tops of the hills. And on the way back home, as you can see in a minute, here, we were just driving through clouds pretty much the entire time until we hit Shrewsbury. So it was just a bit of soup